Hello friend and welcome to Strange New Borgcast 3.9 with Peter, Amory and Lilah.
Hello!
We have some...
Previously on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Unfortunately covering 4.5 Vulcans, although it wasn't surprising we got some comment on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Thomas McCambly said, twin troubles of writer's strike and insufficient empathy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule out unexamined privilege and ignorance as well. Quite possibly. Andy Palastides had this to say: the most damning thing about this episode is how proud they seemingly were of it. It was clips from this episode which were used to promote Season 3 at San Diego Comic-Con. Extremely tone-deaf from the writers and producers, frankly.
Yep.
Brody says, I would say that both animated series have done Vulcans well, as neither T'Lyn from Lower Decks or Majel from Prodigy were terrible racists. Funny you should mention whiskey on your breakfast. I did stay at a hotel in Inverness that had a sign on the breakfast buffet saying, why not try a tot of whiskey on your porridge? You don't laugh. My ex-colleague Mark Smith, who's from Newcastle originally, has whiskey on his porridge.
Does he?
Yes.
Wow.
And how could we forget T'Lyn?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Last decent Vulcan, definitely. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Prodigy, so we can't comment on Majel. And guess who she's named after.
Yeah.
But T'Lyn is definitely awesome, and we should have mentioned her. Boo. Shame on us. Tonight we are covering Terrarium.
Yeah.
Red alert! Where the hell did that thing come from?
Sentries must have missed it somehow.
Sentries missed a wormhole?
And it's right on top of Ortegas' position.
We're contact the shuttle. Tell Ortegas to get out of there.
Archimedes, come in. Erica, come in. That wormhole's creating comms interference. Wait, I've got something.
Hull integrity, 60%, 55%, 50%.
Yeah, I get it. I'm turning into the skid.
Captain, she's too close.
Heading right into the eye of the hurricane. Come on. You got this. You got this. Sir, I've lost contact with Ortegas. I'm not picking up her transponder.
There's no sign of the shuttle. She's gone.
So you start with Ortegas' personal log, and she's going somewhere that's one of those regions in space. She talks about legendary with ghost ships and all the rest of it at sea. It's odd gravity waves, and they're having to strip out a shuttle so that it can only carry one person.
She mentions Division 12.
Yes.
Which presumably is like the Starfleet X-Files division. I don't know. I can only think they're laying pipe for future episodes because they've never been mentioned before.
Oh, okay. See, I automatically thought of Rivers of London and Falcon, which is going to, some of our listeners will know what I mean.
Okay.
Anyway, they're talking in the science lab with Spock, and, he says it's a shame he can't come as well, but they can only fit one person. They make a comment about how, they can only carry so much and he's too many ounces. And he's like, I maintain my weight at within a whatever variance or whatever. But it's just, it has to be a solo mission and there's just no room for anything else. She goes and she completes the mission, but just as she's deploying the buoy, as a wormhole appears and she goes in it.
Yeah, at one point, Uhura mentions that she's 5x5. Which
I think that must be an American phrase because I've heard it in Buffy.
It's in Aliens as well.
Okay.
Best I can tell from the increasingly unreliable Google, that's to be said, it originated in World War II as a way of saying communications were as good as they can be. So that could be the case.
Okay.
Annoyingly, we only see a tiny view of Erica's shuttle being sucked into the wormhole on the Enterprise's great big view screen of widescreenness.
We do see more of it after the teaser.
But not her going into it, that's the thing. It's yet another example of generally the series' lack of visual imagination, although you're right, the rest of the episode actually visually is a lot more striking. It's just, why are all the spaceship effects always so damn small? Annoys me.
Well, they were on the original series, weren't they? All the ships were tiny blippy blippies.
Yeah, they're little dots usually, yes.
Yeah.
But we can do better now, so why aren't we? Never mind.
Okay. Well, look, you're not the one in charge, all right? If you were, there'd be loads of spaceships and no character development.
Well, there'd be some, but it'd be mostly...
Not very much.
Mostly revolving around the spaceships.
Yes, exactly. And with the occasional thing about a uniform.
Yeah. And having slagged off Naomi Mulamad's music in the last episode, the way she scores the build-up at the end of the teaser is really good. Oh, by the way, the Jakuru is still in the credits.
Right.
So that's presumably a permanent change.
Okay. Erica deploys a relay that she's hoping is going to sort of communicate with the boy and then crashes. Unfortunately, the crash has just totally damaged her rations. She hasn't got any. She repairs her wounds, and they have this little sort of monologue. She says, "Oh, I've got to do this and do that." It did remind me of The Martian. Did it remind you of The Martian?
So much. This is a rip-off of The Martian, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And the music even seems similar to me and all.
Yeah. Anyway, she manages she builds a water condenser and manages to make water. Meanwhile, on the Enterprise, in the briefing room, they're talking about how they've got no clue really what's happened to her. But the fact they haven't found debris of a shuttle could be taken as a good sign, albeit they can't find life signs either. They have a deadline, which is very the original series, where they've got to get some vaccines somewhere.
It cropped up a lot in Next Generation as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just feels like, well, can you not think of something else? Oh, dear.
Well, actually, Next Gen, half the time, it was a diplomatic mission, and Picard was supposed to be somewhere.
Yeah, there was that too. At least that, mixed it up a bit. Also, the USS Constellation, which
With
they've
Decker.
got to... Yes, exactly. They've got to meet with, of course, is the ship from the captain from the Doomsday Machine.
Or is it called Doomsday Machine with no the?
Ooh, I'm not sure. And I really can't be asked to edit in the answer to that one. So, yeah, pick your own answer.
Okay.
I'm not going to get fussed by a definite article.
Fair enough. Just apparently it is supposed to be Doomsday Book and not the Doomsday Book.
Yes,
I don't know why, though.
because it's the book for Doomsday,
Right.
I think. But could be wrong on that one. Yeah.
Never mind. Back on the planet, there's random seismic activity. Ortegas works out that the moon's orbit is a flat ellipse, and so it's going to go through the gas giant, so she needs shelter desperately.
I don't know why she has to do a diagram of this. I mean, she's explaining it to herself. She knows.
Yeah.
Well, I know why she has to do it, so the audience understands, but it just seems really hokey.
Yeah, but then What's It in the Martian does diagrams, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. But at least a lot of the explanation stuff there for the audience is given on the logs he does.
Yeah.
Whereas here, she's just talking to herself like a mad person.
Well.
But the visuals, again, brilliant. The great big gas giant behind her is just...
Yeah.
That is superb. I mean, that's what they can do with effects. I just wish they'd do it a bit more often with the spaceships.
My problem is at this point with her drawing, I got earwormed by a song that I have not even thought about for fucking years.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who sung it, anything.
Right, you don't know the name of it?
Circle in the sand, round and round, never-ending love is what we found.
Oh, that was Belinda Carlisle, was
it?
I think, yes. That I will correct myself on. 'Cause, don't be wrong about Belinda Carlisle.
Belinda
Carlisle. Yes, I almost turned her into Paul McCartney then, didn't I? Good heavens, there's a Frankenstein's monster.
Anyway.
What was that? Yeah, Belinda Carlisle sings Mull of Kintyre. What?
Anyway, they back on the Enterprise. They're going to try and get a signal by sending a probe through, which fair enough. You get another reminder about the schedule. And then, meanwhile, on the planet, she spies an alien, a Gorn.
A Gorn.
Then a
Skeksis Gorn, isn't it?
What?
Where it's all Skeksis, where it's all hunched over with a cloak over it. Skeksis from Dark Crystal.
And what are Skeksis?
Oh, it's been too long since I've seen.
Oh, well, I'll show you a picture of it afterwards. Because that's what I initially thought. Oh, she's found a Skeksis. Oh, it's a Gorn. Okay. I mean, it's obvious person in suit. I think it is a man in suit, actually. But the face has, I think, a decent variety of expressions. So it really much works. I mean, it's clearly miles better than the Gorn wearing the ring. I mean, you can't call back to those days, but gosh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Uhura is getting cross, saying, they're thinking of giving up on Ortegas, but Uhura points out, look, that's 4,000 people, 4,000 families with children.
Una points out.
Yeah, sorry. But Pike says you've got 4 hours to show something that works, and the reason that they're so worried about, the reason that they're not going to deliver the vaccines and come back is the aperture is shrinking. Meanwhile, on the planet, the Gorn reaches for Ortegas and she thinks it's attacking her, but it's actually attacking a giant centipede thing that comes out of a thing. I don't know what you want to call it.
Sort of crater thing.
Yeah, it reminds me, you get them funny wormy things, don't you, on beaches?
Okay. Hopefully not that big. Blimey.
No, they're very, very tiny. You see the little holes and then the funny wormy thing comes out of it.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you mean. That fishermen use it for, fishing.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Right. Beachworm, that's what I'm calling it.
Beachworm, it sounds like a song. Beachworm, beachworm.
Okay. Now you've earwormed me with fucking inchworm measuring the marigolds.
Oh, wow.
Inchworm, inchworm, measuring the marigold. You and your arithmetic, you'll probably go far.
Famously, David Bowie loved that song.
Did
It's one of
he?
the things that inspired him to be an artist.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just such a creepy song.
Isn't it? Inchworm.
Oh,
Inchworm.
was that on All Aboard? I think it was on All Aboard.
Measuring the
One of the few songs we can
marigolds.
still play from All Aboard. Yeah, feel free to Google that one. Oh boy, children's album from the late 1970s. That, oh man, some very unfortunate tunes on it.
Did it have good ones on though? Like
Yeah,
did it have,
yeah.
like Chigley or something.
No, it didn't have any TV themes,
Oh, okay.
but it had some very dodgy tunes on it.
Right.
My Boomerang Won't Come Back, was it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Indeed.
Right.
Loved that as a kid. Yeah, whoops.
Mind you, we had a cassette we used to listen to in the car that had two little boys on it.
There's a whole load of music now in your program. I think it was at least two. Oh, good, I forgot his name. Excellent.
Ralph Harris.
Oh, now you reminded me. At least two of his songs on it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And it had Obla Di Obla Da by the Beatles on it.
No,
some reason.
On all aboard.
No, the cassette we
Ah,
had.
right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nothing as big as that. I mean, the biggest name was it was Ernie, and he drove the fastest milk.
We
car
had
in the
that.
West.
Oh no, it was a double cassette. It had that, and it had My Old Man's a Dustman on it as well.
Yeah, I may have had that one. I think. Yeah, Deo.
Yeah.
Deo. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it had a lot of cringe.
A lot of inappropriate. But hey, that was the 1970s. What have the Strangely Worlds writers got the excuse for doing
Yeah.
bloody 3.5 Vulcans? Never mind.
Never mind, 4.5. But anyway.
I don't care. It's inflation.
Anyway, Ortegas realises, so the alien throws out some meat for her, and Ortegas realises it's not a trap because it could have killed her already. And then she spots that the Gorn has got a damaged leg. She hears some strange sounds and throws down the comms things that she's got, and the Gorn grabs it and then activates a protective shield while the giant centipede things sort of go to attack it, sort of. Which made me think of, what's that one with, is it Vin Diesel in it?
Oh, yeah. Dark. I know the one.
I don't think it's called Dark, somehow.
No. But I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
I just can't. Oh. There were very inferior sequels, weren't
Yes,
there? They
there
took
were.
themselves far too seriously. But the original was quite good, and it had Erin's son from Farscape in it.
Yes, it did.
Yes. Now you know, got some idea anyway.
Yeah, well, editing Peter will hopefully find out.
Yes.
Anyway, back on the Enterprise, Uhura presents a plan, and it's that the Enterprise goes into the wormhole and jams it open using some kind of warp shield, something or other.
And again, that was a good, decent effect. So,
Yeah.
you know, they can do it.
They can do it. And the thing is, that plan in and of itself is fine and Spock supports it, but then there has to be a 60% chance of something or other, and you watch Uhura massage the figures so it looks like it will succeed and she gets the go-ahead.
Yeah, she naughty.
Naughty. And then we have an ad break, I think.
Yes.
Is it going to be some interesting songs from All Aboard?
No, it's going to be something that's going to refer to something I'm referring to later on, just to confuse everybody.
So it's a premonition advert.
Yes.
Right, so they won't understand it at the time, we'll only understand it after that works.
Now, the sequels were the Chronicles of Riddick, but what was the original one?
It wasn't called The Chronicles of Riddick.
The sequel was?
Yeah, no, as in the first one wasn't.
No, I know.
Oh.
It's because it...
Pitch black.
Thank you. I knew black was in there somewhere.
You said dark, but anyway.
Dark black. Yeah. Potato.
Dark. As you know, we have now renamed the film.
It's not quite so catchy, but you know.
The game's Mousetrap. Build the contraption to trap the other mice, but don't get caught yourself. Turn the crank, boot the boot, then you'll flying down the chute. Move the hand, the water drops, the diver flips, the fun won't stop. It's the zaniest, craziest, wackiest contraption you've ever seen. Get building.
Mousetrap! Want a bite?
It's Mousetrap.
The Gorn puts up the shield around the shelter again and gets Ortegas to treat its wounded leg with crystal meth or something. Erica works out her companion is also a pilot, so manages to build a basic translator so they can have a conversation. I like the fact it's not a perfect translator she puts together.
Yeah.
Because one would hope that would require the computing power aboard a starship. So, yeah, it just can say yes or no, basically. And that's cool. I can see how you could MacGuffin that. Not something that could translate everything that they say.
No, yeah.
Of course, what it should do is, as well as saying, it doesn't say yes or no, does it?
It says agree, disagree.
Yeah. It's saying that, it also should make some Gorny noises back at the Gorn so they can understand what.
But it doesn't need to. She
Erica
turns out
says.
that she understands Erica anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They do say that. Oh, fair enough. Next, they make a chess set, because of course they do. And the Gorn wins. Then a Gorn board game from MB Games or something, where Erica is expected to eat a piece for winning. Well, it's not quite Kaplunk or Mousetrap. Or better still, the Doctor Who game with the dire artwork that makes Shockeye look like the Buddha.
Oh, yes.
We haven't played that in too long.
No.
The actual gameplay is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the artwork is atrocious.
Oh, it's shocking.
It's one of those where, it's particular Doctor Who characters explained to somebody who's never seen Doctor Who.
Yeah, Lynx looks awful.
Yeah.
Shockeye looks terrible. Tegan looks atrocious, I seem to remember.
Anyway, let's not dwell on that.
Sorry. Yeah. Doctor Who Battle for the Universe.
That's it, yes. I got it cheap from the Woolworth. Having wasted a bunch of time doing that, not playing Doctor Who the game, but whatever it was, Ortegas works on repairing the Gorn transmitter. Her companion doesn't want to be rescued because she's wounded, which puts her on the menu. They also both agree they're being watched by a glowy light in the sky. Woo. Pike is piloting the ship as he's the best pilot after Ortegas. And Spock is in the big chair rather than Una for some reason, or perhaps science reasons, I don't know. In some very pretty effects, the Enterprise flies into the wormhole. Uhura seems to pray in Swahili, which is a nice touch.
Yeah.
Although, again, Universal Translator must be offline for some reason. The gas giant has 396 moons. All the moons! We like the moons!
Because it is close to us.
And they don't have an idea of which one Erica is on. In a not entirely clear series of events, although having watched it again just now, I think I may now understand. Ortegas accidentally attracts a bunch of the critters. I thought initially she'd done it on purpose, and I couldn't understand why. Because she's collecting the crystal meth for the Gorn. And then to defend herself, she attempts to blow them up with a flare, but instead destroys the Gorn's power source for its force field. I think that's what they were getting at.
Well, yeah, because she fires the flare in an attempt to zap the creatures, but because there's so much gas in the atmosphere, it's just a big, massive kablooey.
Yeah, I think they were going for a Martian thing again, where he destroyed his potato crop. Yeah. But in that case, it was definitely an accident rather than what. Well, yeah, I think we've figured out what it means now, but it took several watches for me to work it out. But maybe that's just because I'm dim. She then decides that igniting the atmosphere will let the Enterprise know where they're at. The Gorn has a thruster pack to cause ignition and a chunk of her ship's thermal shielding to protect them. Time runs out for the Enterprise's search, and then they spot Erica's atmosphere burn because it's always the last minute.
Yep.
The arm beams down with a heavily armed security team for no damn good reason. They don't. I know we have seen phaser rifles before, but not very often. Yeah. And the fact there's 3 security bolts with them is a bit. Why were they expecting trouble? They were just expecting Erica.
Yeah.
So of course you could see it coming a mile off. They gun down the Gorn. Ortegas calls on the glowy thing, which halts the flow of time. Woo!
Halt! The flow of time!
And reveals itself as being a Metron, looking equally camp as they did in Arena, which is nice. It was an experiment, apparently, and they'll need to run another one sometime, maybe using that nice young Kirk chap to see what moves he has. Mm. Back on the Enterprise, Uhura and Erica hug, which is nice. So, strange new worlds, or same old guff, in a bizarre German accent for no good reason.
Well, this is the Martian, in it, but wrong.
Well, arguably it's also Next Generation's The Enemy in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also...
And Pitch Black.
Yeah. But sticking with the Trek, there's also obviously a lot of Arena here.
Yeah.
Including both the Gorn and the Metrons. There's also the old guff about delivering a virus. I mean, just... Same old guff really does describe this to a T.
The only thing that made any difference to anything is the development in Ortegas's character.
And it was a good performance by Melissa Nevaeh as well.
Yeah.
So, all credit to her for carrying the episode effectively. But
Yeah.
it's just nothing new. We've seen this a billion times. Enemy Mine. You just mention all the different versions of this
Exactly.
we've had down the years.
Yeah. And he's both in Trek and outside of Trek. And it's just like you're watching it and going, oh, yeah, you're doing The Martian, aren't you?
And that whole thing about facing up against your enemy and realising that you've got a lot in common and stuff, that dates way back to, I think, something like Amazing Stories or something like that. It was a short story. Because when they did Arena, which was like a bit of a rush job, they then had to send an apology to the author of that story, because I think that short story was called Arena as well.
Yeah.
So they hadn't realised that quite how much they'd ripped off, and then they gave them a story credit or something, which is fair enough. But yeah, we've done this. We don't need to do this again.
No.
I mean, it is nice they're giving Ortega something to do. It's a shame it isn't something more original, really.
Yeah. The effects do look pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty enough.
And the planet it's better than when they used to go back to the cave all the time.
Yes, yeah. And it's nice to have Pike back to normal as well. He was actually likeable again in this story, so, yeah. So, obviously, compared to the last episode, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But compared to most other
Most
episodes,
other episodes.
it's a bit, meh.
So it's not awful, but
No.
it isn't any good.
Same old meh.
Yeah, yeah. Or same old guff as we...
Yep.
Not offensive like last time, just nothing new.
Well, let's find out what other people thought. We've heard from Jeffrey Mark Hyman. It's Enemy Mine with a dash of the Galileo 7. I suppose because of the shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
But still one of the strongest of the season. Wow. And finally, an Ortegas episode.
Yeah.
I was, however, very annoyed by the appearance of a Metron in a lame attempt to smooth over continuity issues. Either try to stay consistent with what has come before, or stand by what you are doing and forge your own path. Don't just fob me off with half measures.
Yeah.
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 I mean, there was some sort of continuity guff going on there, but to be honest, it didn't make a great deal of sense, so I didn't pay any attention, to be really honest. Was it some sort of reference to, you won't recognise the Gorn again? Is that supposed to be because they're going to be a man in a suit next time we see them? I mean, that's an odd approach to take, but there we are. Hey, sir. We've heard from Sampo and Yona.
Hello.
Hello.
So we just watched Terrarium.
What happened in it?
Well, I mean, tell me if you heard this before, but a pilot gets stuck on a strange planet and starts surviving one small problem at a time. I mean, he didn't have time to grow potatoes and shit, but, for some reason, I know it's not a unique concept, but I had pretty strong Martian vibes. And then suddenly he finds an alien and starts communicating with a sort of machine that translates. Tell me where you've heard that before.
Amaze.
Exactly. I mean, all that was missing was a heist on the moons, and that'll be all the Andy Weir books.
What about Enterprise delivering mail and losing one of their pets like Postman Pat?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the plot of every Postman Pat episode.
Except Postman Pat also sometimes loses the mail itself.
Of course, we had a shuttle going through a wormhole, but there wasn't a living ship on the other side. But
no sign of Moya.
But anyway, the episode, I mean, that's we're just talking about other stuff now.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, and I didn't even tell the most obvious thing. I mean, of course, in the original series, famously, there's the episode where Kirk and Agon are trapped on a planet. This episode already had very strong vibe from that. Of course, there they had to fight. Here they worked together, so it's not completely the same. But in the end, it was the same aliens. Again, Strange New Worlds has to sort of rehash old episodes of the original series.
Core of the story is, of course, Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, you
in
are.
Mars.
You are correct. And I mean, Star Trek has done this before. There was that Next Generation episode. It's a trope to enemies trapped somewhere. It's a planet or an island. They don't have the same language and they must learn to work together. So cliches coming out the ears.
And well, we learned that Gorns are individuals also, and they have their honor codes. If one of them is damaged, then they are garbage.
This is the first time that we meet a sort of peaceful-ish Gorn. It sort of came out of nowhere because they've always been shown as sort of savages and suddenly... Okay, I will say that is within the message of Star Trek, that communication is the key and peaceful solution. I mean, that's all fine. I mean, maybe it came a bit out of nowhere. Let's say in the original series, the Klingons were the bad guys. They still had their sort of, okay, I know honor came later, but still they were individuals. Gorns have always been seen as monsters until now, and suddenly, well, maybe that's the point. It showed Ortegas and us that they can be different as well. So, yeah. So mission successful, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And back in the beginning of the season, when Ortegas was seeing a Gorn in the mirror, I guess it was just her traumas. I thought she might have some sort of Gorn living inside her head, or
how many traumas can one human take?
Well,
maybe she already thinks that would be nice if instead of living this life in Enterprise, maybe she wants to be a florist or something.
I'm Erika Ortegas. I fly the ship or something like that. So that's her thing, and she's sticking to it. To summarize, I mean, it was extremely predictable and cliched, but on the whole, it was a functioning episode that sort of had a beginning, middle, and end.
But it's like the episode with zombies. Like the composition is right. You have beautiful pictures of foreign planet. You have Gorn. You have two enemies, and yet the story goes straight forward. It doesn't stop anywhere. It just magically appears at the exact right moment. The salvation comes. Things happen, and the tension is gone.
I guess the powerful aliens appearing at the end was sort of a surprise, but I mean, I almost saw that coming as well, knowing the history of the human and Gorn trapped on the planet cliche. So yeah,
exactly. It didn't feel any gap in me. It's just.
The next episode is the last one of the season. Let's hope that's good, and let's hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Exactly. Well, hear from you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, lips are sealed on that. Yeah, interesting, predictable and cliched, but functional, but not very exciting. And compare this with Chrysalis that we just covered over on the Babylon, which comes out, you think they're going to save the day. They've got the answers, but it all comes too late. That's a far more satisfying plot arc than we get here, isn't it?
It is. I mean, there is that one good point, which is that unlike the Klingons, who were presented as baddies, but they had individual personalities, the Gorn have always been presented as just monsters.
Yes, animalistic, and rather than, whereas they've now humanised the Gorn, which I mean they do with every enemy, don't they?
Yeah.
We saw it with the Borg, and it's good. I'm not criticising that. Not all Gorn, but. And there are good reasons for this Gorn perhaps to be rather different because it's injured and therefore it's got nothing to lose, everything to lose. I don't know how you'd approach that one, but anyway, bottom line is we've got a Gorn that isn't just a monster, so that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, but I didn't expect Postman Pat to feature in the feedback.
No, what was that about?
There was the Enterprise being on a mission to
a delivery mission. Okay, I've got it right. Yeah. This Postman Pat wasn't often delivering, vaccines. It has to be Postman Pat the COVID years. They didn't release that one. It was too depressing. Anyway, Mrs. Miggins, whoever it was, oh no, we're not going to see her again. Gold. Anyway, we'll stick with sheep stuck in the road. I think that's a lot safer bit with Postman Pat. But thank you for reminding us of the existence of Postman Pat. That awful remake they made of it.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a helicopter or something stupid like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because, all the posts are delivered by helicopter these days. I mean, it's not even delivered these days. But anyway, let's not dwell on that and move on to the next feedbacker. We've heard from the Llama God.
Llama's log, something, fix the shear. Quick. Hello. Now, I don't get it. What is this episode? What the fuck is this episode? What is this episode about seeing past your prejudices and coming together with mutual understanding and respect? What is it doing here? What is it doing in this Star Trek series directly after the episode 4.5 Vulcans? I mean, what? I mean, I know that previous seasons have veered wildly between different tones, between different episodes, often right next to each other. But this is just something else. This is just something else after the intolerant, bigoted bullshit that we were given last time. What is this episode doing here? Because this is actually a good episode. I mean, yes, it is indeed just Arena and Enemy Mine mashed together again. And God knows how many times that Star Trek as a franchise has done Enemy Mine on repeat. But nevertheless, this is actually good. Because we're finally getting an episode that's focusing on Tegas. And thankfully, really thankfully, they're not doubling down on her insubordination and making this a lot about her internal turmoil or something like that. She's not going to become the O'Brien of the series, which I was worried that was going to happen there. But no, this instead, which actually gives her something meaty to do instead. And yes, it does indeed deal with a little bit of her trauma there, given that it's all Gorn related. But it's not just kind of about she's just going to be a bad person all the time, which is a route that some series might have gone down. She just gets a lot of good character work here to do as she has to survive on her own on this barren planetoid. I mean, admittedly, it does short-circuit some things from other films, like where she uses her ingenuity to make water learn to communicate with the Gorn, and I immediately think of, especially with the water thing, The Martian, and it's kind of like that, but really kind of not, because in films like The Martian, where they're doing really basic science and tech to get the most basic of necessities, here, Ortegas is still really using Star Trek technology. It's still kind of like she's using magic in a way, so I don't really buy into her achievements quite as much, because it's just as magic as replicators really at the end of the day. But nevertheless, there's still nice little moments when she does actually manage to survive on her own, and that's kind of nice. And there is indeed an honesty to the situation. They are really in danger, and that, yeah, they may be using space magic to survive, but nevertheless they are in a lot of danger. And there is some danger on this world, which is actually a strange new world, a strange new planetoid, really. It is definitely suitably odd as it raises through the atmosphere of a gas giant. Yeah, there's nice little concepts there. I mean, yes, indeed, there are quite a few points in the episode where you can clearly see that they're on a volume. Most of the time, the execution is done very nicely, and it's just a nice, weird, and indeed strange new world. The only complaint I really have with the sequence is the fact that apparently, despite the fact that back on the Enterprise they're running out of time to save her, they have time to sit down so that Ortegas can teach the Gorn how to play chess, and the Gorn can teach her how to play her own board game. And yeah, that doesn't really seem like they're racing for their own lives. I guess you could explain it as time dilation through the wormhole, timey-wimey things, but still, that was a bit odd considering just how fraught things are on the Enterprise. And speaking of things happening on the Enterprise, yes, there's a timer. This is actual proper classic Trek, isn't it? They've got a stranded crewmate that they need to rescue, but they've got a vaccine they need to deliver to a colony in peril. That's classic to us there. That's kind of nice to see in this episode. As was Ortegas flying the shuttle with the blast shields down. Again, like what we saw in, at the very least, the Galileo 7. Done for very different reasons there, but this is a very nice homage. And although the ending of the episode is something of a downer, it is also true to the characters. I mean, you can't really complain about what Lan did when she beams down. She beams down, she sees a Gorn, she acts instinctively. That doesn't really tie into what we talked about last time with her overcoming her more aggressive impulses or anything like that. No, this is just really informed by what they've all been through very, very recently with the Gorn. So you can kind of understand that. You just misinterpreted the situation. She's a security chief, it's what she's trained to do. So yeah, it's not good. It's not good, but you can kind of understand it. And it does at least kind of make you think about what's happened there, what they need to process. It's a nice little end to the episode there, which doesn't tear up things nice and cleanly, like you would get in a lot of Star Trek, actually. So I kind of really did appreciate that. And it's also good to see Uhura being the one to solve everything in this episode. She really is the one who saves the day, and she basically has more to do in this episode than she does in pretty much the entirety of season 3 of the original series. So yeah, that's also good. But whilst it's good, whilst it's a nice little exploration of prejudices and character trauma and the like, the remaining problem with the episode really is the remaining problem for the show, which is that it's just sullied for me now completely by the utter dross that we had last time. As the credits rolled in this episode and I heard Anson Mount's usual narration, all I could hear was the stupid voice that he used during his Vulcan impressions from the previous episode, which was just insulting at the time. And that's all I can hear now, and it really has tarnished the entirety of Strange New Worlds to me, to the point that I don't have that much enthusiasm for watching the rest of the series. So yeah, that is the overwhelming legacy of the series, is that 4.5 Vulcans has really, really broken it. I mean, we'll see how it goes over time, whether they can redeem themselves ever, but I'm not feeling hopeful at the moment, it must be said. Still, as ever though, I will be interested to find out what everyone else made of this. I hope that by the time this episode comes out, that the UK will have made more choices for kindness in the future than knee-jerk intolerance and reactions. And until next time, glory to you and your cast.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes, we have an election coming up. Not a general one, but, you know. Anson Mount did seem like a different actor in this, and that's not because he's an amazing actor with range.
Yeah.
It's just that he was acting so badly last time that it was a shock to me, minded, he could actually act in this one.
Yeah, he was nice, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was likeable. And yeah, you're right, I think Uhura does get more to do in this. The actor gets more to do than Uhura does and Paul Nichelle Nichols ever did in the whole series. I mean, the closest she came, I mean, she got some in the films, and otherwise she got a bit more in the animated series, but that was only from her point of view voice acting, wasn't it?
And even in the films, it was only bits.
Yeah.
It wasn't really anything major. Should have been more, really. But there we go.
Yeah. But it is a strange new planetoid, at least, and the effects in that are...
Yeah,
good.
No, the volume effects are still obviously volume effects, but they're used well here. Actually, what's irking me more is all the way the volume is used for the lab, to either make it a science lab or an engineering lab, and it's blatantly the same core set. They've just got different backgrounds on it, which don't look real. So it's like, Yeah, I'd much rather have a real set, to be honest, but never mind.
I can't spot things like that.
Ironically, it doesn't have depth.
But then I can't spot its lap.
You've got no depth perception, so yes, it probably doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still prefer a proper engineering set any day.
Yeah, and I do understand why the previous episode has sullied things for you,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry that it has.
Yeah, but I mean, on the upside, you enjoyed this a lot more than we did, clearly. So,
Yeah.
Finally, we hear what the Pie Man thought.
Hello, orcs. Parry here to talk about Terrarium. Now, yeah, this one, I don't know, I was about to say Strange New Worlds, not really, because it's a fairly tried and trusted trope, but I wouldn't call it guff either, so maybe Strange Old Worlds? Or Same Old Worlds, possibly. But yeah, there's a lot that I can't complain about this. For starters, I've been asking for more Ortegas for a while, and so it's good that she finally gets an episode, even if it is a rehash of Enemy Mine, which we've seen before. Trek's even done it. I could even think off the top of my head that one with Geordie and the Romulan stuck on the planet. So Trek's done this before, let alone it being done many other places, notably in the film Enemy Mine. But it's the thing with that is tropes exist, and that's not a bad thing. And this one actually is a pretty good execution of the stuck on a planet with a potential enemy and you have to work together to survive trope. And it works quite well. I actually think it's done the Gorn better than they've been done most of this series, because this is an intelligent creature, not a weird hissing monster. Even if they still look a bit goofy. That's just maybe my take on the presentation. But then the Gorn have always looked goofy. Look at Arena. And yeah, the subplot with Uhura trying to kind of work out a way to rescue Ortegas and the crew trying to rescue her is okay. It's fine. It's fairly by the numbers stuff. And again, I suppose that's my biggest criticism of this is it does nothing original. The other actual big criticism is the ending, where we get the Metron. I can't remember what it is. I mean, again, the whole purpose of Arena was that there was an alien race, and this is the problem. It's kind of having to jam in TOS references, but it was also, I'm not quite sure, so don't know who got their memories blanked by the end of it and about what, because Ortegas still remembers it, and Ortegas remembers this sort of quite tragic ending, really, of our heroes, the people who we like, turning up and just shooting a Gorn because they see it. Actually, to be honest, something that could have been explored a lot more if they had more episodes, if they hadn't spent them doing a wedding or whatever 4.5 Vulcans bloody was. We could have looked into that a bit more, but we don't. In fact, that's probably where this Ortegas Gorn plot has really been underserved. It's almost like there was meant to be more to it in the series, but in favour of, like I say, whatever the hell some of these episodes were, it got dumped in favour of other things, and we're kind of seeing the last vestiges of the plot from Ortegas' post-traumatic stress, which she mysteriously got better of, to this sort of working together. And it would have been quite a nice solid arc if it had been consistent, which is more a criticism of the series as a whole rather than this episode, because like I say, this episode executes it well. There's a threatening planet with weird stuff happening, and I like the fact that Ortegas worked out there was something more, that it wasn't just a weird planet, that there was something intelligent behind it. Like they were being channeled into something, and yeah, I thought that worked quite well. But yeah, some people have actually taken this, believe it or not, as thinking that now no one remembers the Gorn to make it match what people think of as continuity, which, yeah, I've got to admit it, my thing is, when people say, oh, no one had seen a Gorn before Arena, and I'm kind of the opinion of, yeah, but it's not that important. It's not like it's a fairly hefty episode thing in the episode, and it's one of your problems with prequels, but I've always said I will allow continuity and that sort of thing and canon to be burnt if it leads to a good story, and this was, like I say, I just think that's why I get annoyed at the ending, because I think the ending really was kind of shoehorning canon in, where in fact, if you just had Lan and the security team shoot the Gorn and rescue Ortegas and they all go home, I actually think the episode would work better, rather than having, our godlike beings from an episode. Oh, look, it's something from TOS that you remember. So, yeah, that's probably, I couldn't actually call it a brilliant episode, or even, it's competently executed though, and like I say, an entertaining bit of telly. I thought it was a pretty decent episode. It's just got a lot of features which are holding it down, namely it's tropey, and they've shoehorned in a lot of TOS stuff for no apparent reason, no reason that actually helps the story at all. So, that's a shame. Almost like someone ruined a good episode. Well, not ruined, but someone tried to make a good episode not as good. So, yeah, but I still enjoyed myself. So all it remains to say, do keep up the good work. I always look forward to the podcast, and I'll hopefully be back in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, in terms of what happens at the end, they're going to wipe everything from her memory, but then the Metron says what you had was real and you were allowed to remember it. So she remembers what happened. What she doesn't remember is the Metron. She doesn't remember the answer to what the lights were.
I'm not sure that... Again, because that dialogue was so garbled and nonsensical, the best I could make from it was that she wasn't going to recognise a Gorn again. So for me, she knew she had an experience with an alien, but she can't remember what the alien looked like. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, that ending. It's rubbish. Yeah. And like Perry says, they're jumping through hoops to try and make it fit continuity when they shouldn't really bother.
They've gone so far away from it by now.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense trying to... I mean, yeah, I think there is a line where they haven't met the Gorn before, so it's a bit of a shock when Kirk sees one, but... It's as he says, it's not a deal breaker in the same ways. Perhaps them seeing Romulans would be because that was a massive, reveal in Balance of Terror. Oh, they look like Vulcans. I mean, they couldn't see Romulans in Strange New Worlds because except they kind of do. Yeah. Anyway, and certainly Gorns have always looked goofy, but I much prefer the Strange New Worlds look. I mean, they're not super realistic, but they're better than the rubber man in a suit.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yes, they are.
That just looks like some children's entertainer now, doesn't it?
It does.
It has not aged well at all.
I'm turning up to be a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah. But yes, I also like the fact that Ortegos works it out. She's clever enough to work out that they've been put here, and it's.
I mean, she comes across well in this.
She
story.
does.
And as I say, she's well acted as well, which helps. It's not her fault that she's in something that's completely unoriginal, but
yeah.
Some new ideas, please. Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
We have the finale to the season on the 21st. New Life, New Civilisations, and then this feed will take a break for a bit. We've actually put a schedule for the next 2 months for both our podcasts up on the Facebooks and on the Tumblrs, to give you an idea of what's happening, because there's a week off next week because Anne-Marie's having an operation.
Yep.
And then there'll be a week off in June because we're going to Hollybobs. And we're trying to make sure we don't sort of start season 2 of Babylon 5 and then immediately stop for 4 weeks, which would be mad. So anyway, bottom line is 21st, New Life and New Civilisations, finish off Strange New Worlds, and then we'll be covering season 2 of the animated series with the Pirates of Orion on the 18th of June, and then we'll sort of carry on through the second series of that. On the 28th of May, over on the Borgcast Galactica feed, we begin season 2 of Babylon 5, covering Points of Departure, and we squeeze out a couple of episodes in as many weeks to make up for the constipation in that feed. We should have called this the Poohcast, really, shouldn't we? But anyway, until the next time we're pooing in your ear?
Oh.
No! Take care, cheerio, bye!
Bye!
The Star Trek theme was composed by Alexander Courage and reimagined for Strange New Worlds by Jeff Russo.
Any music used in this podcast is for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
Find our website at borgcast.libsyn.com.
We have a Facebook group which you're welcome to join.
Send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Find us on Blue Sky at broadcastammo.bsky.social
and revorg.bsky.social.
Shut it down!